Yoo-hoo! And thanks for buying a ticket to another awful movie review.
I look like a fucking snow cone.
After the height of the 1980s slasher mania, we started to see spoofs of the genre. Movies like Scream, which celebrated and paid homage to the films of the past, all while making fun of the cheesy and campy, overused tropes they had. One of the lesser known spoofs is Popcorn. And maybe the reason why it went under the radar for the common audience is because it's just not good.
Come on, people, we got good news, we got bad news, we got all kinds of news.
I've got to confess, I didn't care for this one. Popcorn follows a group of university students and their professor who put on a triple feature night show in an abandoned theater.
I want to go home. Now.
But little do they know an uninvited guest is occupying one of those seats. And let's just say he's been watching too many slasher movies, let's put it that way. This feels like an amalgamation of B-movies from the past decades, whether it be the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s.
Scary movies on the silver screen.
That's a positive aspect of Popcorn. It's full of fun little references to genre cult classics. Inside the theater, for example, we can see many posters for The Tingler, Frankenstein 1970, The Incredible Melting Man, The Deadly Mantis, and so on and so forth. The look of the serial killer feels like a throwback to Vincent Price as the abominable Dr. Phibes, and the human masks he makes is a nod to Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There are lots of little gimmicks in the screenings of those fake movies, reminiscent of the works of William Castle, who was a master at that kind of thing. Those movies they play parody those cheesy monster science fiction films from the past. The first picture, Mosquito 3D, takes obvious inspiration from them. And it's funny because just a few years later, an actual movie called Mosquito featuring giant, blood-sucking insects would see the light of day. The second film is an obvious reference to The Indestructible Man with Lon Chaney Jr., and the last film could very well be an eye wink to films like The Quatermass Experiment and The Blob. Anyway, all sorts of fun little throwbacks to the genre cinema of before. The paradox is that this is where Popcorn starts to hit a brick wall, because the meta-slasher concept is honorable for a short story, but when it's stretched into a 90-minute feature, the repetitious nature of this one-trick pony gets tiring.
Let's get on with the show!
The constant going back and forth between the fake movie and the real picture is tedious. Apart from the constant references to before's genre cinema, the rest of the story is below average slasher material. And funny enough, this slasher has the unicity of being filmed entirely in Jamaica of all places. I didn't expect that. I can't believe that there's almost no bloody violence and innovative kills. Why was the violence so sanitized and toned down? Really, barely any gore.
Come on. This is really important to me.
It's disappointing and really head-scratching, because one of the slasher genre's trademarks is to showcase buckets of gratuitous and shocking bloodshed, so I'm stunned they didn't incorporate any of that here. This is a comedy as well, but we are treated to a couple cute jokes and giggles here and there, but most of the jokes fall flat.
Is there an inherited gene for obnoxiousness?
Another flaw of Popcorn is the storytelling and the characters. Delivering a well-crafted tale is not one of the movie's perks. Maggie, the main girl, is aware she's being stalked by a crazy serial killer. So what could her reaction possibly be? Call the police? Get out of the theater?
This is great. God, Joey, what a great movie this would make. We gotta find this guy.
Oh well, I'm being stalked by a vengeful maniac who wants to cut me to pieces. Ha 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 ha, it's fine, it's all fun and games.
Am I getting this right or am I just delirious?
Some people would tell me that I just needed to shut my brain off and go with the flow, but no, I don't want to. If the movie makes no fucking sense, I'm going to call it out. There's nothing wrong with demanding a fair amount of decent storytelling.
Okay, I see.
I tried, but I just couldn't get invested into any of the characters. The whole gang is superficial, and there's barely anything remotely distinctive about any of these people. Even Maggie, played by Jill Scholler, who I liked from The Stepfather a few years earlier, there's not a lot of character development, even she's boring. And it's a shame, because there could have been a lot more lore explored between the relationship she has with her adoptive mother, the lore surrounding the killer and all that. At the beginning, there's this mysterious Count Dracula kind of figure who appears, and I was led to believe that maybe he could be the killer, maybe he could have something to do with all of this. But when his 5 minutes of screen time are finished, the guy vanishes into obscurity and we never see him again. What was that all about?
Leon, this is weird.
Overall, Popcorn is not all bad. I just wish that there was enough to make for an entertaining movie as a whole, but unfortunately, the lackluster and repetitive script keep it from being just that. It's a milestone away from being funny enough to be a good comedy, and it's not nearly spine-chilling as I thought it would be, so it doesn't work as a horror film either. This is just an additional reason to go and watch Scream instead. What a bad movie.